Hi and welcome to Student Management System Developing Python. This very tutorial is at the request of one of the viewers out there who would like me to use a Treeview, and this is the Treeview right here instead of a Listbox. And actually the Treeview seems to be much better and I like it myself. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is let's add some more data in there. So I'm going to exit out and let's enter student details in there. And the name is Davis Danson. Date of birth, let's say, all right, that's cool. And there, mail and address is number 13 Ferry Lane. Okay, that's fine. Telephone number, there we go. All we then need to do is to click on add and we can display that. So if we go right down here, let's go scroll right down, and right there guys, that is Davis details. I've actually added it twice. Okay, and we can also delete one. There we go. And as you can see, we only have one of Davis details there. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take you guys straight into Python development environment and we'll put one of these together. Exit, no, and exit, yes. Okay, let's start a new project. I'm going to go to file, new, and there we go. The first thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to create the back end to this project. Okay, to start with, I'm just going to import the following. So that's going to be SQLite 3. Okay, actually, like I said, this is going to be the back end. So I'm just going to comment that out and enter back end in there. Okay, so I'm going to start by defining my function here. I'll call that student data. There, enter semicolon. That's my function created, and let's create my variable that will store my SQL connections. So let's say SQL3.connect. There we go. That is it right there. And I'm going to call the database student. That's the name of my database .db, and close that. Now let's get a cursor on board. So I'm going to say cursor equals connect dot cursor. There we go. Enter parentheses, and I will also like to get that executed. Cursor dot execute. And what do you want to execute first for? I'm just going to enter in there using SQL create a table. Okay, the create, that is the command to develop your own table. So create a table. Okay, if not exist, if not exist, there, and the name of this table is just going to be students. That is it right there. You can just copy that and paste it right there. There we go. And I want the following ID. Now let's choose a lowercase for that. ID. Okay, this ID is going to be the primary key. So this primary key is going to be an integer, really, integer, and that is going to be my primary key. There, comma, then I'm going to have student ID and so on. So that's one of my fields. Let's make this uppercase as well, and the rest of the field. The next one is going to be first name, followed by surname. The first name is going to be text, surname, that will be text as well. There we go. All right, that is my student data created. That is it right there. Now let's create another function. This very function here, that's the function that we use to add all of the data straight into my system. So I'm going to call this, let's say, add student. Let's say student ref. Okay, student record. Okay, not reference, and the following fields. There we go. And I'm going to grab this here. Let's grab this, all of this here, maybe up to here. Just come right down here, paste that there. So let's sort that out. Okay, however, in the case of this execute, I'm going to change that to insert. So let me get rid of all of this and just change that to insert into the table, the following. There we go. So it's going to insert all of this information of the student straight into my database. So that takes care of my add. Now the next one we want to do is, let's create another one. I'm going to call that view data. Okay, let's change that from uppercase to lowercase. Delete all of that. View data. There we go. Now in the case of view data, I'm going to grab some there. Let's grab all of these here as well, and I'll grab, let's just grab it all and change it around. There we go. All right, I have my database, I have the cursor, executes. The changes has to come from the execute as well. Get rid of all of these, and let's change that to select. Let me use uppercase for that. Select all from student. There, and close that. So that is my statement for that. And in here, I'm going to change this to, let's ask you to fetch. So before that, I'm going to ask, let's create a variable there. I'll call that row equals fetcher rows. Let's say rows equals cursor dot fetcher. All right, let's to fetch my data in there, and we close it. Then let's return the row. Right underneath here, let's say return rows. There we go, and that takes care of my view as well. So we're almost done with the back end. Okay, the next thing I want to do now is I'm going to now delete. Okay, we have insert, we have create, insert, select. So let's delete. I'm going to grab all of this as well. Let's paste that underneath here and change things around. There we go. Move this down a little bit so that you guys can see it. So this, I'm going to change this to delete data. Okay, delete records. Yeah, okay. Come in here. Let's go for lowercase. Delete rec. That is fine. And the record to be deleted will be from the student's database. Also execute, in the case of execute, we just change that to delete. Delete and get rid of this. There. delete from student data. Okay, student database where, let's use uppercase for that, where ID equals question mark there. Now comma there, just enter comma there, ID, and there we go. Get rid of this, and that is my delete statement taken care of. So I'm going to have to ask the connector to commence and close, then get rid of the threshold, and that takes care of the delete statement. Okay, I'm going to save this. It's not saved. Okay, that is it. Have a good look at it before I save it. Move it up a little bit so that you guys can see it all. Alright, that is fine. I can't see any error, so I'm just going to save that file. Save as. Okay, there it is. I'm going to call it studentdb underscore backend. So let's copy that. Save. There. That is it, saved. I'm now going to go back to file. Let's work on the front end. Open up a new page. Okay. With my new page open, I intend to import the following and say from Tikinta import all, and I'm going to also, let's import my database. So import my database, the back end. Okay, that's the back end. So I've imported that. This one is the front end, so I might as well just, let's put a front, let's say front end here so that you guys know the difference. Alright, that's my front end. So let's import the following. Let's go for TTK from Tikinta. Let's grab the TTK. That will help with me adding my Treeview. So I'm going to use some random numbers in there. So I'm going to say import random. If I don't use that, I'll delete it. So what about message? Let's import message box. Message, I import Tikinta dot message box. Message box. There we go. That's it right there. And all the data that I will import will be as follows. There we go. Those are the libraries that I intend to use. So right underneath here, let's come down here and just create a class, and this class I'm going to call it student. Let's use uppercase for that. Student. There. Just before I go any further, my database, the back end, I actually have to, let's kind of like close that. So if you haven't done that, just do this. It's no big deal. Let's paste that underneath here. That is it. Okay, that's it. More or less closing it. So let's open up my front end now. Save as well, and back to the front end. Okay, let's initialize the following. So I'm going to enter method any or function. So I'm going to say self comma root. This is actually good for a project, the university standard project. So import the following and add the following. So that is going to be set.root equals root. The blank space is to get the title, dead center, and this is the title of my database, and this is the size, the geometry. Okay, now that that is all done, I'm going to declare the following variables. So let's come right down here, just say student db equals, let's make that a string variable, enter parentheses, and let's enter first name equals string there. Okay, variables declared. Now let's create frames. So right underneath the variable, I'm going to enter frames there. There we go. The first one, I'm going to call that main frame, and the main frame equals frame, and let's enter. Main frame is going to be a child of the system, which is, that's the root, and I'm going to say let's add a border of about 10 around it, and the width of that main frame, I'm going to make the width about 1350. Okay, what else do we want? We're going to go for height equals 700, and I'm going to get it to the leaf. That's going to be rigid. That's good. Now let's make the back color equals, okay, that blue. Okay, that blue, that's fine. I'm just going to round up the mainframe itself, so let's say mainframe dot grid right underneath here. There. So let's copy that. I'm going to copy it and just use it for the others. Let's come in here so that we can speed it up. Add more. Right. And there we go. And that takes care of my mainframe there. Okay, let's come down so that you guys can see this. I am also going to round up the whole process here so that we can save and run it just to see what I've been working on. There we go. Name equals main. Enter. Okay. And what else? So let's just enter apostrophe there, and there we go. Alright, what else? I'm going to say root, that's equals tk, now lowercase k, and this application itself equals student root. Let's see, did I use uppercase? Yeah, I did use uppercase. I'm going to say student, open parentheses, and root. Yeah, the student is the child of the root. And all we just need to say is root dot main loop. There we go. I'm going to save this before I go too far. Let's save, and I'm just going to try it out. I'm going to call it Student Database with Treeview. Student DB. I'm going to call it DB B, Frontend, and Treeview. There we go. Student Database Frontend Treeview. Save that. Okay, let's just run it and see how that's going to look like for now. Let's click on run. And there we go. That's the frame. It's not looking much now, so let's enter some widget into it, so that will makes it look a bit more presentable. So right underneath the mainframe here, I'm going to enter the following widget. Let's copy this, paste that right underneath here. The very first one I'm going to enter, that will be my title. So for the title, that will be inside the let's paste that right inside the left frame one, no, title frame, this one. I'm going to paste that right inside title frame. So let's come right down here, and that is going to be self dot lbl title, that equals a label, and this label is going to be inside the title frame, comma font. I'm going to make that equals area, there, and let's make the size about, comma, let's say 56, comma, and we make that bold, apostrophe, close that off, comma, and what is that? The title will be students. No, what is this? Get rid of that. Right, the title is going to be student database management system. Grab all of this and just paste it right in there. There we go. And border bg equals 7. Close that. Come right here and close off the title. Title dot grade, and the row is going to be on the first row anyway, so 0, comma, and the column itself is 0 as well, equals 0, comma. Let's get it padded x-axis. I'm going to make that approximately 132. There we go. Okay, let's get rid of this one. Students management system, that's fine. So I'm going to run that now. Let's run it, save and run. Let's see how that's going to look like. There we go. Look at that, looking good. Okay, one down. I will now copy this. So let's come down here, paste that underneath. So that is my title taken care of. So let's create other widget. This title, let's put that title in its own commented area there. Okay, get rid of this. This is just, I'm just going to call this widget. Okay, so this is going to be for student ID. Okay, ID, that's for student ID, and this is going to be student ID as well. Copy that, then we'll just change things around, and the title for that is going to be student ID. So come down here, change that to student ID. The font size, change that to about 12. That's not bad. And I'm going to get it anchored. That will be west equals west. And to be on the safe side, I'm going to also justify its left. Okay, there. And here, get rid of all of these, and I'll just, let's enter strictly. It's all to make sure it's to the west, and I will get it packed equals 5. There we go. Okay, now what I want to do, I've changed this one to lowercase. What I want to do is I'm going to, let's change the frame. I'm going to make it left frame. Copy that and just paste that here. Then we'll run it and see. run. We save that first, and let's see that. There we go. That's it. Okay, now the next thing that I want to do is I'm going to copy this and just change it around for the text. No, it's actually called entry. Change that to entry, then we can then speed up the whole process. So I'm going to call that txt, and this is going to be entry. There. Okay, in the case of entry, make this about 5. Get rid of all of this, doesn't need that. And the anchor, I'm going to get rid of the anchor as well. Get rid of the anchor, yeah, and just change that. Let me change that to width. Width equals 40. Okay, and this, let's say it's left as well. Okay, and the column is going to be 1 because this is on row 0, column 0, so row 0, column 1, and I'm going to just get rid of all of this. There we go. Now let's do one thing while I'm still here. I'm going to grab the student ID, this variable. I've just enter variable here, so let's comma text variable equals the student ID. All right, let's try that out. Go to run, and let's see. There we go. That's fine. All right, I can just speed up the rest process now. Just change things around. Copy that, come right down here, paste, and that is going to be for the first name. Change this to first name, and this is going to be row 1, and there. That is for the first name. Change the names around, but let's run it first and see that. There we go. Now we have first name. So the next one is going to be the surname. Copy, and we just change things around. Paste. This is number 2, row 2. There we go. And this is surname. There. As for surname, run. Let's see. There we go, guys. Looking good. Now I'm going to speed that up and just change the names, the widget names, to match the name on the labels. And right there, guys, I've copied and pasted and just changed the names around. Surname, date of birth, age. And right here, this is the only different one. That's a combo box, and inside the combo box I have female and male. Okay, first row is empty, second row is female and male. There, that is it right there. So that's the only difference. So have a good look at it. So bring it down there. So I'm going to run it. Let's run it and you see that. See how it all looks like. That's how it's looking now. Alright, right here I'm going to now enter a tree view, and underneath here I will add buttons. So let's do that. Close that. Okay, right underneath here, let's start work with that will be the tree view. So that is just, let's enter that in there. I want to copy that and paste it right underneath here. And paste another one. That will be for my buttons, and here that is for my tree view. Tree view here. There. Okay, with the tree view, first of all I'm going to create a scroller, so I've called that scroll X. That's just the name I'm calling it. Let's use lowercase equals scroll bar. There we go. The bar should be lowercase, and it's going to be a child of, I'm going to call that the right frame. This very frame up here. Where is it? Right frame 1. Grab that. No, that should be right frame A, really. Okay. Come right down here. Paste that in here. There. Okay, the orientation of this, I would like that to be horizontal. So let's enter orient equals horizontal. Yeah. There, that takes care of that. That's the scroll bar, the horizontal scroll bar. And I'm going to need another one for vertical, so I might as well copy this and just paste it right underneath here. Change this, the name of this to y-axis. Let's make that lowercase, and this will become vertical. Vertical. So T, yeah, there we go. Okay, so now let's create my, now that I have the scroll bar, I'm going to create the Treeview self. So I'm going to call the self dot student list. Yeah, that's okay. Student list. Right. That will be equals ttk dot Treeview. There we go, and this is going to be inside my right frame here. Paste that there, and the height. Let's see, height and width. Okay, now let's go for height. No, not width. Height. That will be equals 12. The column. In the case of the columns, is going to include the following: all of the data for my database. That is number, comma, we have another one, so just grab that and just copy and paste it, then change the data in there. There. So this is going to be for numbers, and this is going to be student ID. This will be first name. This is going to be surname, and here that will be date of birth. Then let's come down here. This is going to be age. Age, let's move it this way. We have age there, then we have gender, and finally mobile. There we go. Command of it. Close that bracket. There. And now I'm now going to use, let's say, X-roll, X scroll. And that will be command equals this very one here. So I'm now attaching the scroll bar to my Treeview. Dot set, comma, the next one is for the y-axis. So I'm going to copy all of this and just change it for the y-axis. Paste, and this is going to be y. And this one will be y as well. There. And let's close this off here. That takes care of that. Okay, I'm going to, let's get this packed, then we just try it out. So I'm going to say scroll X dot pack, and that is going to be side. It's going to be at the bottom. There we go. Comma field equals X. Okay, and we'll repeat the same thing for the y-axis. So I'm going to copy this again for the y-axis and just change it around. Paste right underneath there and change this to y. This is y here, and this will be y as well. There, I just spotted an error here, horizontal. Let's change the spelling. Let's get the spelling right. There we go. There. Okay, so I think that's all for that. I'm going to try it out, but before then, let's see. Let's just try it out and see. The only thing I will see will be the scroll bars. There we go. Look at them. Okay, that's good. Now let's come down here. Next thing I want to do, let's grab my student details here. This very one. Grab that, and I want to enter my data in there. That will make up the heading. So I'm going to say self.studentlist.heading. That is going to be the very first one. Will be, let's call that will be for this. That's the very first one. And the text on it, I'm going to make the text equals that. Close that. Now let's take care of the second one. Grab all of these, paste it right here, and this is going to be this one. Paste, and here I'm just going to change that to student ID. This will be first name. And this will be first name as well. That's the database that will be in there. The field actually. Then followed by surname. And surname here. There. So let's just speed that up. I guess you guys understand what I'm about to achieve there. Okay, so all of my fields is there, and these are the names that will show up right on top of the Treeview. So right underneath here now, I'm going to just enter self. Now self square bracket. I'm going to ask you to show the headings equals headings. Right, should be an S there. Okay, and the heading that I want you to show, they will be inside this very column. So let's create all of those columns, or shall we do it like this? I'm going to grab all of these here. Yeah, grab them, paste them right underneath here, and I'll just change things around there. Come right down here, and the headings, I'm going to change the heading to columns. So grab that, come right here, headings become columns, paste, and I will change this to width. Width equals, I'm going to make that about 20. There we go. Okay, so repeat the same thing for these ones. Let's just change all of the headings first. change them all to columns. Almost there now. Right there. And change the rest to width. Come in here, grab this, change that to width, and that's, I'm going to make that about 70. And this one, we make that about 100. The following one will be 100 as well. That is the maximum column width. So here, change that as well, make that maybe about 70. For the age, let's make that 70 as well. Gender will be about 70 as well. So we'll grab that and just paste that here. 70 for gender. And this is for the address. We're going to have to increase that a little bit. On address, we can make that 120. No, 144. And this will be 120. Okay, now let's come right down here. Underneath here, I'm just going to say self.pack. I just want to pack this Treeview now. Dot pack, and I will ask it to fill equals both dot expand it equals 1. There. Okay guys, that is how it looks now. So what I'm going to do now is let's just run it and see how that's going to look like. Okay, that's the trees. All that is left for me is to take care of the buttons. Those are the widgets, headings, and that's the frames, variables, and there. So let's run it and see. Okay guys, look at that. That is looking beautiful. I like it. Alright, that's very good guys. So what I'm going to do is I will just call it the end of the first part of this tutorial. I'll see you guys shortly.